A good late day to you on this Wednesday. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. 500 millibar heights here shown in these tan-colored lines, and you can see the temperature pattern. We have a ridge of higher pressure that's located up here. This ridge is going to be enough to produce a surface high that's going to be extending from Hudson Bay south. Let's take a look at that. So, losing the 500 millibar heights there, you can see this ridge of higher pressure. This is what's going to be in place tomorrow. But notice the colder air associated with that. Temperatures even in the teens and 20s up in northern Quebec. Now, what's going to end up happening, this is a very dry air mass. We have a storm system that's further off to the south. It's been bringing severe weather to some parts of the eastern plains and the southern part of the United States. This area of low pressure is going to be tracking like this. It's going to spread in a lot of moisture to the north. And so what ends up happening is that moisture is going to overrun some colder air and eventually fall in the form of wet snow. Looking at also some severe weather, so a lot of moisture associated with this with very strong thunderstorm activity. This area of low pressure will be taking a track just about due east, develop off the coast, and then work off to the southeast of Cape Cod. Here's Vermont, here's the high pressure center that's kind of ridging south, and here's our storm system with several lines of thunderstorms. This is valid tomorrow morning, Thursday morning. And so carrying that a little bit further here, this is in the afternoon, starting to get into the evening hours now and into the overnight period right here with the leading edge. This is roughly about 8 o'clock in the morning, so it basically arrives maybe about daybreak or a little bit before that point in some parts of southwestern Vermont, and then begins to overspread the region. Let's jump that back just a little bit here. So you note that a lot of warm air, a lot of thunderstorm activity, a lot of moisture, some good inflow coming in off both the Gulf of Mexico as well as the Atlantic Ocean, has all the characteristics of a lot of water vapor, a lot of high moisture. So what ends up happening is we get into the bulk of the storm here. It looks like on Friday afternoon. Really, this is through about 0Z, which is 8 o'clock Friday evening. You can see that the precipitation tally picks up a little bit across mainly central and southern Vermont. So running that a little bit more here. And then a lot of it pulls on out. So things weaken as we get into the overnight period, late overnight, early Saturday morning. And finally, things begin to pull out. Lighter accumulating snows here, and then it pretty much finished up. So beautiful day during the day on Thursday. It's my pick of the week, as a matter of fact. And we start to see the snow. Notice this is all rain. It's all relatively warm. Runs into the colder air produced by that area of higher pressure. Turns to snow. And you can see that it's pretty healthy snowfall as well. Now down here we do have a little bit of a mix. According to the European model, this would be late in the day on Friday, but we have some pretty good snowfall. A lot of moisture coming in here. And it begins to pull out by between 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday and Saturday at about 2 o'clock. That 6-hour increment. Still some leftover lighter snow shower and flurry activity, maybe even a little bit of mix of rain on valley floors. That's going to be a player as well. And it finishes up, it looks like, during the evening or overnight period on Saturday night, with Sunday being a pretty nice day. Okay, so this is 6-hourly snowfall, and you can see it kind of comes in as a warm front. Again, to the south of this, where it is snowing, is all rain. So imagine this being a lot more of a bulk of precip with the northern edge of the precipitation shield in the form of wet snow. But you can see the problem here. Least amounts Northeast Kingdom. This is valid by between 18Z and 0Z, which is really 2 o'clock through about 8 o'clock in the evening on Friday. Least amounts up in the northern areas, most down in parts of southern Vermont, 5 inches at Rutland, 6 inches in Springfield, and so forth. This area here is going to be the problem area, but keep watching. This is another 6-hour increment. This is during really Friday evening, and then Friday overnight, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. Now let's go back about 48 hours and you'll see the totals here, which are fairly impressive by the European model. What are you going to do? These are very impressive. This is at 10 to 1. Least amounts Northeast Kingdom, Northern Tier area, Champlain Valley. Most down towards central Vermont and points south. I think this is probably running a little bit high, and it is taking some of our mountain grid points and then making it look like it's down the valley floors. So there's going to be a bit of a wet snow kind of mix down on valley floors, but this is an elevation type storm. It's fairly impressive. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.